The First Testament of Arcanus and Veritas.
Symphonie numéro 1.
Segment sinfonique. D. Tema del segmento: alzarsi il get up. Tonica principale del capitolo: Fa F. Progressione musicale principale del capitolo: ciclo diminuito cromatico minore. Suite sinfonico D. 2 fantasia, andante sostenuto e curioso, le parole di nessuno, L muri contro la libertà.
Compositional form. Chapter flat 7. Descending. Traditional form. Chapter 3. Arcanus and Veritas. As Samuel's vision crystallized from darkness, he found himself standing before the grandiose entrance of the Universitas Scholarum Pro Veneficus et Mysticis, an ancient institution dedicated to the study of magic, mirth, and misdirection. The courtyard was abuzz with activity as aspiring magicians practiced their craft, some juggling flaming batons, others contorting their bodies into impossible shapes, and a few even attempting to levitate, all while dressed in the most outlandish and colorful attire imaginable. Amidst the controlled chaos, 2 figures commanded attention: a tall, loquacious man with a quick wit and a mischievous glint in his eye, and his shorter, silent companion, whose enigmatic smile never seemed to waver. The pair appeared to be the head instructors of this peculiar academy, their presence both authoritative and comical.
Welcome, my budding prestidigitators. I am Arcanus, and this is my partner, Veritas.
The tall magician Arcanus announced, as he introduced himself and his silent partner to the audience, his loud voice booming across the courtyard.
Here at the Universitas Scholarum, we teach you the real secrets of magic, the art of illusion, misdirection, and the power of a well-timed jest. Prepare to have your minds boggled and your expectations thoroughly shattered.
With a dramatic flourish, the silent partner Veritas produced 3 clear glass cups and a handful of balls, placing them on a nearby table. As he began to perform the classic cups and balls routine, his hands moved with impossible speed and precision. Even though it was obvious to the observer how he was doing the trick, his sleight of hand made the fact they could see how it was being performed even more incredible. Veritas's skill of controlling where the balls were at all times showed that even if you could see the trick, it required skill to perform. The gathered students watched, slack-jawed as the cups danced and the balls multiplied.
Behold the power of misdirection.
The taller and rather loud-mouthed magical instructor Arcanus exclaimed as he began juggling, while Veritas set up the grand finale to the cup and balls trick, placing a small goldfish, alive, in an even smaller cup, his eyes twinkling with mirth.
The secret to this trick, and indeed to all magic, lies not in supernatural abilities, but in the art of controlling attention. When you can make your audience look where you want them to look and believe what you want them to believe, you hold the key to true sorcery.
As Veritas completed the trick, the crowd applauded, then his large and loud partner Arcanus soaked the audience's attention and regaled the students with tales of their exploits. Arcanus spoke of how they had once convinced a nobleman that they could transform lead into gold, only to leave him with a chest full of worthless rocks. As he did this, Veritas placed what looked like a handful of coins inside of a large tank of water, at which point the coins disappeared and turned into a school of goldfish. However, he held on to 1 coin and swallowed it.
But the real power,
Arcanus confided,
lies in the fear and awe we inspire in others. During the time we are performing these illusions, their eyes are where we want them to be. Thus, so is their mind and their emotions. The observer is so enamored by their eyes seeming to play tricks on them, not realizing that it is we who are playing the trick on them through our use of highly skilled, yet simple and repeatable deceits of distraction. During this state, their minds are too open to the power of suggestion, for when the king himself believes, we have the ability to turn him into a toad or conjure demons from the underworld, We can make him dance to our tune. The true magic is not in the tricks we perform, but in the influence we wield over the minds of the gullible.
The students listened intently, some even taking notes on scraps of parchment, eager to master the art of magical manipulation. Samuel, too, found himself drawn in by the instructor's words, marveling at the intricacy of their illusions and the audacity of their claims. As the silent magician concluded his routine with a flourish, making the cups and balls vanish in a puff of smoke, the taller instructor turned to the crowd, a sly grin on his face.
Remember, my young apprentices, the key to success in this world lies not in the strength of your spells, but in the power of your showmanship. Make them believe, and you can achieve anything. Now, my dear apprentices, behold, the great Veritas, master of the mystic arts, or at least master of looking like he knows what he's doing.
Arcanus continued, gesturing towards his partner with a comedic roll of his eyes. Veritas, playing along, gives the audience a confident nod and a cheeky wink, preparing them for his next trick.
You know, Veritas will take what is clearly just a regular old glass of water, watch him folks, because he thinks he's pulling a fast one on us.
Veritas picks up a clear pitcher filled with water and begins to pour it into a glass cup.
As you see, our silent sorcerer pours the water, and oh, miraculous transformation. It turns into what appears to be wine. Don't let his innocent act fool you. It's all in the cup, my friends. Pure chicanery.
Arcanus chuckles, pointing at Veritas, who feigns shock and confusion at his own powers. Veritas then picks up the glass, raising it to the light, admiring the wine with an exaggerated connoisseur's appreciation. He sniffs it theatrically, then takes a tentative sip, his expression one of blissful surprise, as if it truly had become the finest vintage.
But let's not get too excited. While Veritas might want you to believe he's turned water into a Grand Cru, your intoxicated feeling will be all in your mind, as I assure you, it's still just water. For that was no ordinary cup, but rather it was cleverly treated with a thin coating of a natural, safe dye on the interior that reacts subtly with the water, changing its color to resemble red wine. Go on, Veritas, show them it's not wine.
Arcanus dares, a playful smirk on his lips. Veritas looks at Arcanus, appearing to be slightly annoyed, causing the audience to laugh at his silent annoyance. Arcanus lowered his voice as he and Veritas appear to humorously argue with each other, clearly part of their entertaining act.
Go ahead, Veritas, prove that it's not water.
Arcanus commanded again. Obligingly, Veritas takes a bigger gulp, then suddenly grimaces, sticking his tongue out in mock disgust, seeming to confirm it's still just water. The audience erupts into laughter at the pantomime disgust, appreciating the comedic timing between the silent antics of Veritas and the narrative jabs from Arcanus.
And there you have it, folks. The secret to turning water into wine is all in the cup, and a bit of acting chops from my silent partner here. Remember, in the world of magic, seeing is not always believing.
Arcanus concludes.
Thank you, folks, once again.
As Arcanus said this, Veritas held up his finger into the sky to halt Arcanus' speech.
What? Do you have something else to add?
Arcanus asked Veritas. It was then that Veritas took the now empty cup, and then from his mouth he began to squirt out clear water, which began to fill the cup up. Arcanus pretended to be shocked.
Okay, well, clearly my partner Veritas has a bit more to show than I thought.
He laughed and added,
I wouldn't be able to tell you how this mystic works or where this is going, folks.
Then the crowd screamed in shock as Veritas seemingly conjured up the unholy spirits as he spit up a goldfish from his mouth into the cup. Once in the cup, the goldfish swam inside, clearly alive. The crowd cheered as Arcanus and Veritas took a bow and ended their act. Samuel clapped too and appeared to wait for darkness to envelop him as he grew accustomed to, by this point. Instead of darkness, however, he heard his name being called by the tall, loud magician, Arcanus.